Coal alert.
By the way, this is how you do a wyvern properly, Steelbane.
Dodge were good sports because they knew peak when they saw it.
This is like the most play patternest toy line to ever play pattern in the history of play patterns.
Welcome, esteemed students of the School of Athenia. Welcome, class of 2029. I am the dean of, I'm the headmaster of the School of Athenia, welcoming you once again to a new term. I hope you've enjoyed your summer break. I'm once again joined by the Dean of Critique, Runestone.
And tonight's podcast will be featuring the phrase, smoking.
The
Also,
Dean
you're
of
the dean of doing things at the last bloody minute.
That is me. That is me. The Dean of Manufacturing. I already forgot your title. I'm sorry. Definitely not Char.
Our headmaster is suffering cognitive decline. Not Char, am the new headmaster of the School of Athenia.
Oh no, is this how Joe Biden feels? And the Dean of the Arts, ID Armed.
Hi, I have nothing witty to say today. It's just good to be back.
Oh, thank God! At least I'm not getting come at by three people.
I had to small screen Max a little.
Yeah. Oh God. So we. Our faithful audience will probably know that we skipped last month. Just didn't feel like doing it. We saw it was a not now, please. We saw that it was a good opportunity for a good old summer break, so we took the month off and refreshed ourselves. And apparently everyone else did a better job than I did. So welcome once again to the 12th episode of the Chugcratic seminar. Chug life. Oh, this is on a great start. Before we get into our topic of discussion, let's go over our recent purchases. Runestone, I believe you went to TF Nation very recently last month.
Oh yes.
Look at that haul.
Ooh.
Alrighty.
That's a haul.
So, you know what? For once, I'm actually going to let you guys decipher what I have, what I picked up at the convention. Some of it's obvious.
I mean, I can name literally everything except for like the one in the black box.
We'll go for the rest, and I'll tell you what that one is.
Oh, actually, I think I know what it is. Yeah, I figured it out.
Oh yeah, no, it's MP1.
All right. So we got up front. We have a signed rubber ducky from David K. Power Core Combiner Sledge, and right behind him, the blue truck is Salvage. We got Beast Wars second. I want to say Auto Launcher.
Yes.
And Mantis.
Yes.
We have a version of Magnaboss. I'm not sure which version it is. I see some extra paint on on the elephant, so I'm assuming that's the Japanese release, is it not?
Yes, it is a Beast Wars second Magnaboss with its components being Skywarp, Lio Jr., and Santon.
Hell yeah. We got a bagged Armada Megatron. I can't see if Leader 1's in there, but I'm assuming so. And a bagged,
yes, he is.
We have a bagged American Cybertron Excellion, a boxed Legacy Sandstorm, a boxed Masterpiece Loud Pedal, I'm assuming, and I do not know that Beast Wars character's name. Is it Crazy Bolt?
No.
Ding, 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 top marks.
Hell yeah!
Oh, Neo.
Who's the orange guy in the back? I've never heard of that guy before. It's from like a obscure series, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, I'll just say that in regards to the Legacy United Sandstorm, when I go to these conventions, I do make it a point well, for the most part, not to pick up figures that you could find either in stores right now or even through online retailers like Kapow Toys. But the reason I picked up this Sandstorm was because straight out the gate, the retailer was offering 30 quid.
Yeah, no, you're not the only
Oh,
person.
hell yeah.
You're not the
Wow.
only guy I know that went to TFN and picked up a 30 quid Sandstorm. And I think for like, so how much is a Voyager in your guys' side of the Atlantic? Like
About
a
like
Voyager,
40?
what, 30 pounds? 35?
On a good
Something
day,
like that?
on a good day, it's like around 35 quid.
Yeah, so you paid less than a Voyager for what's basically a really good Voyager. So yeah, that's a good deal through and through, I'd say. For like probably the best triple changer in like a long time. I think you guys know how I feel about Legacy Blitzwing. So this is obviously like leagues above him.
Yeah, I regret not being able to
30
go to TF
Blitzwing
Nation
was
this
leagues
year.
above Legacy Blitzwing. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
What were you
regret not
saying,
being-
Charles?
I said I regret not being able to go to TF Nation this year. I did not have the funds, unfortunately.
Next time.
Next time, hopefully, we'll see if I can get that bag.
I'm seriously, I don't know if I've talked about it with you guys yet, but I'm gonna try and gun it for like 2026 or something like that. Assuming I'm not like completely absorbed with like real life school stuff by then.
I'm afraid it's never happening for me.
Oh, you can always come to TFCon with me at least. There's that.
Yeah. One day.
And just to confirm, yes, that rubber ducky was indeed signed by Mr. Yurs himself. He's actually, like, when I went up to him, he did express a little bit of surprise that not a lot of people had brought him rubber ducks to sign. It would be just like, figures boxed or artwork or
Really?
something like that.
You'd think that would be
Apparently.
more common.
Yeah, whether common or not, it felt like the best choice for me, so I went for it.
Hell yeah.
But I believe, Kit, you have something special yourself.
Yes, I did go to a convention last month called GeekCon in Shreveport. I didn't really see anyone selling Transformers, though. There was someone selling a fucking filthy animated Blur for like $25, and I was just like, no
Bloody
thanks.
hell!
So all I got from that convention was a single GoBot and a couple issues of Marvel G1, including the initial appearance of the Dinobots. So I guess that's my prestige convention purchase of the year. But the picture to the left is actually a haul I got from Neokio. I had three things in that haul, but the third thing was just a Galaxy Force Exilion. I got to replace my very, very knackered Cybertron Hotshot. So I didn't really count it as a recent purchase. I have no idea which version of God Jinrai that is, whether it's a vintage one or if it's a reissue of some kind, but it doesn't matter to me. I have one. I'd just like to replace the stickers at some point in the future. And standing on top of him is a Superlink Inferno Volt, or as we know him, Roadblock from Energon. Apparently, the Superlink version is a lot easier to get than the American version.
Really?
Yeah, he was released a lot more widely in Japan than he was here. So I got this one for like, what was it, $25, $30? So
As I was just saying, as with a few Superlink releases, I know from tracking down Superlink Wing Saber. God. Superlink Wing Saber. Why am I stupid? The American version is like way harder to find and more expensive than just buying the Japanese version.
Yeah.
Importing it. Very interesting, that.
Okay, we got a comment already from Black Wolf 249. We seriously need to get better Energon figures? ? Answer: no, we don't. They're already perfect.
Yeah, I have stakes in this time. I think that's kind of a good transition to my part. Since I don't know if this was, it must have been. I must have talked about it during our last episode 2 months ago, but I have not been chugging too hard lately. A lot of the things that have been coming out are going up for pre-order. I feel confident will go on sale. Instead, I've been kind of diving into vintage UT stuff, and especially vintage Energon. I don't like saying vintage.
Hell yeah.
But so I know for sure last episode, I'm positive that I either talked about it or I just had picked it up, the smaller Takara Ultra Energon Megatron, which was it's utterly fantastic. It's so fun, even though it's just a scaled down version of the big leader. I've also
the one Runestone reviewed not too long ago.
Yeah, no, I think that was like the decided that review was like, "Ooh, that looks really fun," and like it was mint. It had the pull tab for the electronics and everything. Like it was one of the mintiest like loose figures I've ever picked up. In addition to that, while I spent a weekend in Chicago, I did also pick up Energon Landmine. Finally, like nigh complete. He's literally just missing one piece for his chest that you can get I can get a resin replacement for. There's that.
Is it just a little flap that's in front of his face?
Yeah, it's that. It's so like negligible that like it doesn't really matter.
It just looks a little like you wouldn't really be missing much in vehicle mode. It's just a tiny bit ugly in robot mode.
Not really. If I can find a junker that somehow has it, I'll get it like 100%. Otherwise, it doesn't bother me too much. But in addition to that, I've also picked up my first Terracon. I picked up the Dive Bomb. I've picked up Sky Blast. I feel like I've picked up something else, but I'm totally. Oh, and I picked up Ironhide, and like all those toys are just so
Energon
good.
Ironhide.
They're great. I get it. I get why Energon's good. I've thought about it with other friends. I'm genuinely considering if I do come back to YouTube with like kind of video essay-ish kind of reviews. I would like to do a whole video about like how Energon finally clicked with me. I really want to talk about how these toys, how I finally get them, you know?
I mean, it's simple. Ironhide's just a perfect toy.
No, it's true. It's really true.
I love Energon Ironhide.
I don't want to make this like a long topic because again, I really want to script something out to talk about it as a long form video. But like having played with Energon or Armada and Cybertron toys like my whole life as a collector, a fan, whatever. And not really giving too many Energon toys at the time of day. I feel like now I kind of regret not doing it years earlier. I really feel like I've been missing out on something. And when it comes to remakes, I feel like some figures could totally go for remakes, but like, you know, if I'm not too big on like the power linksing Autobots, I'm not gonna lie. I like them more as their own figures, but like, you know, if you get rid of the power linksing, then like, what's the point? You're just making more Autobot cars. You know?
Yeah, I mean that's never a bad thing.
That's never a bad thing, but you're like it's like getting rid of mini cons for Armada characters, and they would never do that, right?
No. They're totally not planning on selling a giant box of mini cons at some point next year, and that's how you get all your mini cons. That's my running conspiracy theory.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that later. So Runestone. Now that we've covered our most recent purchases, why don't we go over? This is our second time doing show. Go ahead.
As Char discussed his.
My what?
Your recent purchases.
Have I made any? I didn't put any on the thing. I haven't really got anything to discuss in the last couple months. I mean, I myself got a few Energon and Cybertron, Energon and Armada toys. Like I said, I got myself a Wing Saber, and I've been really enjoying it. Combining it with
I had wings.
Optimus Prime. It is in fact a very good set. But yeah, that's all I really have to say. I don't want to drag this out too much.
Fair enough. In that case, I guess we shall move on to the topic of today's episode. That being Wishlist 2, Chugcratic Boogaloo.
Chug Life.
Basically, Yeah, would you believe that I was the one that picked out that thumbnail, by the way? Because I knew that would appeal to Kit's brand of humor.
I could not believe that at all, but I'll have to take your word for it.
This time, like, essentially us going back to our roots, by the way.
I believe you're cutting out,
because
Runestone.
Can you hear me clearly now?
Yes,
Can you
Mr.
hear me?
Verizon.
But you were cutting out just a bit.
Okay, I shall try again. The original Chug Wishlist was basically our first proper episode of the Chugcratic seminar. Whereas last time we went through a class by size class, this time, our wish lists are faction based. Round 1, Autobots. Round 2, Decepticons. Round 3, one of the other lesser known factions. And as for round 4, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Hell yeah. So as I understand it, I'm up first when it comes to round 1, the Autobots, and I'm going to do something extremely predictable. The twins. I want a new ice cream truck from the original
Stop.
2009. What?
Starting off with a bang, people.
Yep. I want a new ice cream truck. The original 2009 Ice Cream Twins were an amazing set, and I still love them to this day. And I'd like to see what could be done with another take on it. I just want another one. I think, especially if it's like Chug and they're a bit more blockier, they could use the shapes of the ice cream truck a little more to their advantage than the movieverse aesthetic could. And also they have the whole, reverse duocon element to it, which makes it even more fun. So
yeah, and it's a thing that like never happens. It never happened like before that often in toy form. Has not happened much since, as far as I know. And it's like
it literally has only happened the one time.
It was the one time. Okay.
Yep.
At least again in toy. I know we got like the trash guys from AOE and stuff, but again, never got a toy or anything like that. These are, as far as I can remember, the only guys.
They would be a good shout too.
Yeah. So
I'd like to see them all in one box.
I also had these guys as a kid, and I really loved them. They were well played with and everything. And I'd love to see. I mean, this is more me talking about them as like Studio Series toys instead of like just getting them at all. I would think it would be really cool to get them as like a Voyager this time, so we get like 2 smaller like mini box size deluxes. Even if the ice cream truck is a bit big, I don't think people would care. Like I think.
When I say deluxe size 2-pack, I say like each figure is the size of a deluxe.
Yeah, no, like for me, in my mind, ideally it would skew towards like smaller deluxe because ice cream trucks aren't that big. So
it's funny that Black Wolf 249 in the chat mentions unique toys because I have their mud flap on the way right now.
Oh yeah, right.
I'm really looking forward to it.
You know what they could do? They could just sell them to you separately as 2 different deluxes.
I hate you.
Also, just quickly responding to Black Wolf, thank you. I appreciate the comment about the Feral Scream Collection video.
Oh, that's nice.
What's the Feral Scream Collection? I cannot remember what that is.
It's for?
What?
The one that you made the Digibashers for.
Oh, right. Okay. I remember now. Sorry, I'm losing it. Anyway, who's up next? Who wants to...
I was just going to say...
did you have something to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say I had this set as a kid as well, and they were very well played with, and I think something they could improve on is all of the fiddly bits that tend to get lost on the original toys.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Like I said, they were well played with, but that also meant like I lost parts or things cracked.
Most of the flaps on Mud Flap were lost.
Also, if there's one thing like a hypothetical Studio Series one could do, I don't like that pull tab that Skids had for like the spring-loaded head reveal. It was cute, like it was cool and it worked, but the pull to pull it up and down and stuff, that was like way too tight. That's literally just a minor thing. I don't know if everyone had it, but like It was so weird, but that's in the past, of course.
Brilliant. Next up, we have definitely not Char's pick for the Autobot. Are you ready?
Yep.
Whoa.
All right, Stratosphere. This was I picked this because I thought it was an interesting pick. It was something that it would be sort of unconventional for recent SS. And it's a toy that, I mean, originally, the toy that people originally have, the problem with it is that it has GPS. So this would be a good way to get that toy without that problem. I think being Commander class better communicates the scale of the character. And of course, it's modern Chug. We can do these things now. We can have a Commander class Stratosphere if we really want to.
I've been hearing rumors of one for like over a year now, but I'm probably certain that's just wishful thinking on everyone's part.
Commander Stratosphere?
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately it seems like the Hasbro guys are really committed to just making Studio Series 86 stuff for Commanders because next year it's Hook and Long Haul, and God knows what next year's is going to be. 2026's is going to be, because like if it's another G1 thing, I say this as a G1 guy, I'll be pretty miffed because like there's literally a billion other things you could feasibly do in Commander class.
Also, to harken back to the original toy, I feel like it should include a core class Cybertron, a core class movie Optimus Prime. I think that'd be the first core class movie character where it's a downscale. No, because they haven't actually done any of the main cast in core class from the 07 movie, have they?
They did Bumblebee, but again, that's his or Dark and the Moon alt mode. So
yeah, and that was just a repaint of Laserbeak, because Laserbeak was tiny.
What was I going to say? I can't believe we did not get a core class movie Optimus at all, and instead we got like Starscream and Shockwave. Like,
yeah, that is an oddly specific thing.
How
that they would go for that cast of characters without doing the main cast in that scale.
And again, now that core class is like being restructured, but it's not going to be at retail anymore. That just means like they're never going
to. Wait! You have to explain that statement. What do you mean?
Well, so quick thing, core classes and like TLDR, core classes ending as a size class next year, but they said that they want to take core and smaller size characters and pack them in with other things. That's why next year we have a listing for like Perceptor as a Target exclusive with Ramhorn and Ratbat at Voyager price, which means like the Ratbat and Ramhorn are like $5 each, which also means that like core class cassettes are kind of a scam. That means I'm a chump for buying like all of them.
Yeah. I mean, is it a scam or is it just economy of scale?
I guess more so economy of scale, but it's just like, I got Steeljaw recently. He's a fine figure, but like also, I don't know if he needed to be core. I really just feel like he could have been packed in with literally anyone. Like, it doesn't matter who, just like toss him in somewhere. Because
another idea I had for this set was maybe we could include a parachute accessory for Optimus. To recreate the one scene that Stratosphere's in, where he isn't even in robot mode and we never even hear him talk or anything.
That would go so hard.
That would go so hard. And you could even make it out of fabric, so he could be one of those, those army toys where it's an actual parachute and you throw them out the window, and sometimes it works, and other times they just plummet to the ground.
Yeah,
they literally just die.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the trooper that came with DOTM Shockwave got one, so it's not out of the question.
Yeah. Though they might charge extra for multimedia parts.
Mm.
But yeah, that's my pick. That's pretty much everything.
I would really love to see this happen, because if the GPS on Stratosphere is as bad as people say,
it is.
Probably won't be getting this toy anytime soon. Which is a shame, because I've wanted him forever.
Go ahead, Red.
Also, the Stratosphere that they're more likely to do in the future is, of course, the Rise of the Beasts one.
Ugh.
I don't mind Rise of the Beast one, but I'm not sure about that, because like the Rise of the Beast one has gotten suspiciously little merchandise at all.
That's true. I was really shocked to see him in the Trigger 40th video. That one was like, oh my, like I mean, everyone from Rise of the Beast was there except Optimus, but I was like, oh wow, Stratosphere got acknowledged. That's nice.
Also, Rise of the Beast Stratosphere mentioned. I have to say that his concept art design was way cooler.
You're gonna have to share that because I feel like he stayed pretty consistent from like reveal to release, unless I'm totally forgetting something.
Well, maybe we should move on, but I'll post it in the chat.
Yeah, I would like to see that actually.
Next up is ID Arms' pick for the Autobot.
That's me. This is how surprising of this to come from me. I really want a proper rocket-based playset because I do want the G1 one at some point. One of my shops has one that honestly I should probably be putting some money aside for because I really want it. But like, I would love to see one as just basically a remake of the original with like airlock clips and stuff, and another way to get Countdown. Maybe toss in another 2 or 3 Micromasters. But I don't want them in a particular size class because I don't know how many of you guys follow Marvel Legends. Honestly, knowing all 3 of you, I assume little, but I keep in touch with it just because I have a lot of friends that are into Marvel Legends. And they're doing something brand new for Hasbro, as far as I know, which is there is a character called Dragon Man. I know zilch about him, but he's getting a new Marvel Legends figure. But he's a made-to-order figure like a HasLab. But he also does not have a backer limit or anything like that. Basically, you have like a month and a half to pre-order him. And then once that's it, they count up how many they have pre-ordered, and that's all they make, and he's never made again. And also, so he's a bigger figure. He's like 10 inches tall. He's got a pretty long wingspan. Comes with alternate wings, alternate fists, and whatnot. And he is only $85, which for a Marvel Legends brand new mold, everything is surprisingly. I expected it to be like 120 something, but no, it's like again $85. And I really feel like if other brands from Hasbro want to open up and do stuff like that, it would be really cool because not everything needs to be a HasLab. But also not everything needs to be like a commander. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can have stuff that's like kind of halfway between. And I feel like Countdown could really be something like that. Because it's not like he's complicated. It's just a lot of big parts, a lot of big panels that open up and fold out and whatnot.
One thing I like about this is as much as it was a cute idea to pack in Countdown with Omega Supreme, because Omega Supreme turned into a rocket base, and Countdown came with the rocket base. I would like to see a return of Countdown's original rocket base and a return of like other Micromaster bases in general. I would like to see.
Again, it really blows how they fumbled Micromasters really hard. I like the War for Cybertron Micromasters well enough, but like there were so many like things that bothered a lot of people, and I feel like justifiably so. But instead of like going back and thinking like, okay, how do we fix this so we can make more Micromasters, they just kind of took it out back and shot it dead. And then they,
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue that's
HasLab Boater and people come out with Death Source, and they are the best Micromasters because they are literally just tiny Transformers. They don't turn into weird weapon modes. Not all the Micromaster weapon modes were weird, by the way, but like 80% of them were, I'd say. But like these ones, people and Boater, they're brand new molds. They are like basically what their upscale G1 Micromasters was, a couple extra joints and stuff. They turn into cute little vehicles that can play around with the playsets. And I think that's what most people would have wanted,
I mean, when you think about it, this was probably the second time that Hasbro killed off a Micromaster revival, if you consider Cyberverse a Micromaster revival. Like
Cyberverse, like the Prime Dark and the Moon thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to get into a whole discussion. I don't know why they just don't bring that back and get rid of like all the one-step changers and dumb gimmick toys. Like, it's
Cyberverse was a really cool budget toy line. It's a weird thing.
It's really weird that they just don't make that like their core like collecting on a budget thing or pocket toy thing. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not a marketer. Maybe kids like little robot finger puppets and one-step changers, but if I had my way, I'd do Cyberverse all day with like play sets and vehicles and stuff like that, even if they don't show up in the shows.
Yeah. As far as Micromaster is concerned, I've always been a bigger fan of mini-cons, just because they're more unique and interesting, in my opinion. But even so, they really did the G1 Micromasters dirty in the Prime Wars, because I have a couple G1 Micromasters myself, namely the Micromaster Transports, and they're so much fun.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't want to go off tangent again, but I did pick up my first G1 Micromaster Transport, because in addition to UT, I've been also doing collecting some more G1 stuff. I got Overload Complete for like $30. He's really fun. Like, he's stupid simple. The trailer's stupid simple, but it's so fun. You can literally have him carry around like
flat top is goated, man. You have to get a flat top.
So I have a Rector without his base. I have Overload Complete. I have Rough Stuff without his base, and all I need left is flat top, and then also go and try and hunt down the other transport vehicles themselves for the Micromasters that I already have.
Rough Stuff is probably the pun intended roughest of the four, but he's still fun. They're all fun.
Which one was the one that was totally not a mini Optimus Prime?
It's Overload. And again, Overload is great because he is just a mini Optimus Prime whose trailer can hold like 2 cars and can turn into a jet for him. It's really fun.
Yeah, I have Overload, but unfortunately the trailer hitch broke on mine.
BioDragon 882 asks, but ID Armed, if they got rid of one steps, what else would they shovel into landfills?
Nothing, because everyone would just buy the Cyberverse stuff again. I'd assume.
More copies of ET for the Atari.
But yeah, all I want to see, I mean, the general consensus I want to see is, again, that Hasbro Dragon Man thing from Marvel Legends. I think that's a really cool way to do mid-sized things, and Countdown and Rocket Base is the first one that I thought of, but also like I want to see more of it because again, I don't want to like wake up next year and see that they're doing like the Rocket Base as a HasLab because like I'm sure you could market it to people, even if it's just like a made-to-order item that's like limited. Like you don't need a class. I mean, God, it'd be cool, but also like I don't think it would sell. You know, like
yeah.
I mean, the question is when you do things like made to order, who are you really reaching? And it's pretty much the same people who a HasLab would reach in general.
It's pretty much the same people, but you're not like holding them hostage, being like, if this doesn't get funded, it's never going to happen. It's literally straight up, hey, do you want this? You have a month and a half to buy it. And I feel like that's a lot more. I don't know if ethical is the right word, but like I just feel like that's a way better way to go about it.
Yeah. It feels less like gambling.
Yeah, basically.
Or like a pyramid scheme.
And again, I feel like if this Dragon Man thing is anything to go by, they are not going to be like stupid huge figures. So you could, again, do a lot more stuff that are conceivable. Like, I could see like Road Caesar or like the Multi-Force being like $150 smaller stuff like that. You know, I don't know about Road Caesar. The Multi-Force do so much that I don't think you could do them at retail, honestly.
So I suppose that just leaves Runestone's pick, unless he has more to say about the Rocket Base.
I'll say a quick thing. I just think it'd be cool if they got some play sets out in some way, shape, or form, and if they managed it, I vote Orkanok and Arachnid.
Ooh, that would be a really cool one. That would be really fun, actually. Even if it's not like for Micromasters.
I'd take it.
Yes. So this brings us to your pick, the Autobots.
Okay. With Transformers Prime, if Thundertron of all characters can get a new toy, why should Ironhide be off the table? Ironhide was slated to appear in the Transformers Prime cartoon, but in synergy with the live-action films, if you know what happens in Dark of the Moon, that never happened. But concept art, courtesy of Ken Christensen, can be found online. The design blends G1, Bayverse, and, in a sense, animated if its cancelled 4th season is anything to go by. That said, Prime Ironhide still received a couple of toys. The first was a Cyberverse Commander class figure. Then there's the Deluxe class mold, quite clearly meant to be Ironhide and was solicited as such for Hasbro markets, but they decoed and released the mold as Sergeant Cup. No, Ironhide showed up in Takara's Arms Micron line, where instead of Cup's twin cannons, he came with just the one that transformed into his Micron partner, Iroh. And I just think that somewhere between these two, there is the foundation for a pretty solid Prime Ironhide toy. For starters, I'd have him be a Voyager. It just feels the right size for him. And as for design elements, the Deluxe has some neat transformation tricks, mainly in how the vehicle panels fold up into substantial arms. But a part of me prefers the proportions of the Cyberverse Commander, because the broader chest and shoulders just make him look more powerful. Lastly, deco-wise, the Cyberverse Commander is based on the artwork, whereas the Deluxe deviates a fair bit. Also, goes without saying, but please ditch those god-awful stickers. So, yeah, pretty out there choice, but I've seen deeper cuts than this.
was gonna say, so in the context of, again, you say Prime Universe, so I assume you mean more of the generations, Neo, Chug, whatever, right?
Yeah.
I'm really surprised we didn't get, because no one talks about. I mean, I know there's so many Transformer characters and there's only so many toys you can make, but there wasn't a single Ratchet or Ironhide in Legacy, which is really baffling. And I feel like this could have been a cool one to throw in, like, even if it was just like a pre-mold.
It's because we've gotten a glut of them in Studio Series. We don't need any more this year.
What did we get? We got
Bumblebee, 2 versions of G1.
Free. We got 3 of them if you count the battle damaged ones.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that's it, which isn't a lot, but it's a lot for one line in like a year and a half.
Don't forget War for Cybertron as well.
Oh yeah, we're getting that soon. I forgot.
Ratchet should be coming out like very soon, like next month, I think, and then Ironhide's slated for next year. So that is fair. There's way too many Ironhides and Ratchets, but so I assume one will show up in like 26 or something like that, and I feel like this would be a really fun contender. Again, you could probably get some like repaint out of him too, which would be really cool. Of like another unrelated character.
Sorry, I was just going to say, with this design, we have at least 3 options, that being Sergeant Cup, Trail Cutter, and Huffer.
Trail Cutter? I didn't know were those 2 remolds of this figure?
Yeah, I think it was Beast Hunters.
Yes,
actually,
well,
Go ahead.
Go on, Char.
I was going to say, Trail Cutter and Huffer are sort of a retool of the Commander class figure, and the Commander class Cyberverse figure, and the Cyberverse figure was retooled specifically to be Trail Cutter because he has the little over the head thing on him.
Yeah. I did. Oh yeah, no, I did not know they actually were mold brothers. I never would have guessed. Looking at looking at them, you know. But I'm looking at them now, and I'm like, oh wait, I can see the connections.
Yeah.
All I really have to say about this pick is that any Ironhide that turns into a pickup truck is good in my book, because that is the goated alt mode choice for Ironhide.
You telling me you don't want him to be a minivan?
Yes. That's exactly what I'm saying. Michael Bay knew what he was doing.
It's been a while since Ironhide's appeared in anything, right? So like I feel like next time he shows up, if he like just turned into the same thing as like Ratchet or whatnot, I feel like that'd be disappointing. For me, he's just like a pickup truck for the rest of the time.
So a lot of the ambulances in my area are just modified Dodge Rams. I think that has some serious Transformers potential, because ambulances have a lot of extra mass compared to a pickup truck. So like, he could have like a big Ratchet could have like a big utility backpack full of tools and such, whereas Ironhide could just be like, they could have completely different transformations. I would actually prefer that.
Just do it like Lambo style for like side swipe, have them all transform differently. Yeah, I'd love
going off on a slight tangent, but Transformers that turn into the same thing but in completely different ways and happen to have completely different robot modes is like my favorite subset of the entire franchise.
It's wonderful. Also, not trying to go on like a whole tangent, but Missing Link Sunstreaker makes me really hope we get like a Missing Link Lambor for the same reason, especially.
Oh, we're definitely doing it. It's on the table, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
So that's
I'd be down for this. 100%.
Pick up the deluxe mold. It'd be great if you painted it after the artwork in the same way.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've never messed with
correct.
Does it look like that in person? That weird, like,
but
bordering on maroon red?
It'd be just great. No, I'm just saying it'd be great if you did it in the same way that you corrected Kingdom Grimlock.
Oh, yeah, no, I'd be down to do it. But also, quick question before we move on: is the Arms Micron Ironhide that like cherry maroonish red in person, or is that just the lighting?
I think it might be the lighting.
Okay. Yeah, I want to hazard the lighting. Hasbro had a serious trouble photographing red toys within that decade. So.
Oh yeah, looking at the photos from TF Wiki, these are that's just like straight up Ironhide red. Okay, they messed up, those silly guys.
Yeah. So, round 2, Decepticons. Who's up first? Oh, it is definitely not Shar.
Right. I have chosen Blackout. This is sort of a double pick because, the designs are somewhat similar. So I've said this could either be movie or animated universe Blackout, presuming it would be Legacy. One of the big reasons I chose this figure is because the original animated Blackout, sorry, the original animated Blackout is very rare, very hard to get your hands on, because it was a convention exclusive in Japan, and I think that's about it, because it was like one of the few figures that was actually got released from the Mythical Season 4. Like I said, the design's similar, so you could have you could have it be either movie or animated, but you'd probably want to lean more towards the animated design, just because the movie Blackout already sort of fills the niche of being movie Blackout from the SS toy line. And you could probably get a relatively easy retool into the Cybertronian mode if you were to go with the Earth mode Blackout as an update first. I said leader class, but I would happily take a commander class as well.
Quite
The bigger the
frankly,
better.
I can't believe we don't have. I can't believe like Blackout. Like just speaking in general first, I can't believe Blackout's like not one of those characters that's like kept going.
Yeah, you'd think he'd be one of those breakout characters, but no.
I feel like he's an unfortunate case where like his niche is filled up by like other characters, like really loyal Decepticon that ejects smaller Decepticons, Soundwave, big guy that's who's like the go-to big Decepticon. I would say Lugna, but Lugna also not really been showing up.
I don't think we have a go-to big Decepticon.
But yeah, no, it's an unfortunate case where I guess other characters just happen to fill his niche. But like he's so cool and stuff, and I know he got the Studio Series and the MPM, but like I'd love to see like a Generations take on him. And I think
but he's got the niche of being the guy with the big mustache and eyebrows.
I think he would be like ideally if you had to make him a leader class, just make him like that's simple, like a Dinobot, so he gets to be like pretty big for a leader, and then he just comes with a pretty simple Scorponok as like a smaller guy that like is.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't need to include Scorponok if you were doing the animated version.
Are you telling me you wouldn't want an animated Scorponok to go with the animated Blackout?
I wouldn't say no to an animated Scorponok to go with my animated Blackout. I'm just saying you wouldn't need it.
I would love to see it for like on the principle of it being just an homage to like him in general. It's like the reason why it's what I liked about just old stuff or like older generation stuff. They just would like put stuff together just because,
That is fair. That is one of the things I very much like about older generation stuff. I didn't think of it because it's not really something Hasbro does these days, but like...
I mean, again, sometimes they do it. Like, take Sandstorm, for example. He just has a mishmash of his toy and cartoon head, because why not? I'm not a big fan of it myself, but like they still do it sometimes, but like usually it's just aesthetic choices. I want them to just have play features, even if they're manual play features that are based on older incarnations, just because, I think when it's masterfully done, I think it rocks,
I just like it when they mishmash various incarnations of character for their Chug updates.
Absolutely. No, I wholeheartedly agree. And especially when it feels right, because I know with a fair bit of Legacy, we've seen when it doesn't feel right and when it does feel right.
Indeed.
Blackout is just one of those characters that seems pretty well received whenever he does get a new toy, but he just never gets new toys.
Yeah. Again, if he's getting a new toy, it's just the movie, which I mean, like it's deserved. That's him. He's the main guy.
He's Mr. Bay. Mr. Bayformer.
I genuinely think we'll see G1 Blackout before we get like a helicopter Blackout in Generation. G1 Blackout was the one half of a Micromaster Combiner, came with a big like beige, purple, and green tank that turned into a whole playset. I'd be totally down for it.
For a half second, I thought you were referring to a G1ification of the Blackout design.
I would also be down for that. Of course, I'd be down for it.
Or Blackout, or just movie Blackout in G1 colors. with a
Just a
G1
big
head
purple
sculpt, just the rear end of a plane for a head. Anyway, I think we may have exhausted this topic. So next up is Runestone's Decepticon wish list.
I think if episode 10 has proved anything, is that we all love deluxe class wreckage from the first live action movie toy line. And why wouldn't we? Cool looking both modes, good articulation for the time. The twin swords even have some nice functionality to them. If the chest actually locked into place, he'd be tied with Bone Crusher as my favorite of the line. Wreckage was at one point meant to show up in the film itself. When they developed the design that you see on the left-hand side, it didn't actually have a name. They just labeled it Striker, named after the vehicle mode, the M1126 Striker infantry carrier vehicle. And I just like to see Wreckage again. He would have he would of course. Sorry, what?
I was just gonna say, and that's spelled in the X-Men fashion. Stryker.
Yes. He would, of course, be in the studio series, but despite the concept art prefix, I'd actually have him based more on the original toy. I love the orange and urban/Arctic camo deco. I prefer how the wheels decorate both the arms and legs instead of having all 4 wheels on each arm. At my preferred size for him, Voyager class, the latter might be physically possible, but it's still not my preferred aesthetic choice. And keep the old toy's head too, because fun fact, that head sculpt, the toy that is, was based on a drawing that Aaron Archer made in 5 minutes. He did it because the head on the original artwork was so dark, Dakara couldn't make out its features. Obviously no automorph, but keep the combining swords, please. Bottom line, if we're getting a toy of Widowmaker, the precursor to Stinger, then Wreckage must be in the pipeline, right? Right?
Yeah, Wreckage.
Wreckage is Mr. Concept Art.
Literally, like Wreckage and Springer are like the next 2 I'd want to see after Widowmaker.
Breakaway. Don't forget Breakaway.
Oh, and Breakaway. I don't know. Breakaway appears in like the games and stuff. So I feel like he's got more like legitimacy to just being a regular Bay character than like.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
I won't argue with that.
Like these 2 are ones where it's like, come on,
give me Warpath. But yes, this is a. I agree with this pick. I agree that yes, the one thing that the original toy was hampered by was the automorph. So a Wreckage that would be more solid and more focused on being just an action figure. Well, you know what I mean. Less focus on play features, more focus on the Chug basics, I suppose.
Because like,
so it can be more solid.
Well, it's not even just that. I think Wreckage, I got him like half a year ago at TFCon LA. I think Wreckage is an amazing figure for his time. He still holds up really well today. So literally, you don't need to do much to just make him like Chug standard, you know?
Yeah. He even has ball jointed ankles and wrist swivels. Yeah. I think.
I'm aware. I own the toy. I'm just saying it's mostly just the torso. Transforming itself whenever you want to raise the arms.
Oh yeah, that's annoying. Also, I don't like how he's like seemingly perpetually always looking down. Like, I don't know if it's just my copy, but he doesn't really look up that high. So not much.
Yeah.
Not much you can do about looking up. That's really all.
Something you brought up in episode 10, Char, was that the swords blatantly look like they're meant to combine, and I guess one thing you could improve upon there is make the swords look like, they be functional weapons individually, but they could still combine in the end.
Yeah, you could make them more Darth Maul-y.
Guys, they do combine.
They do combine.
Oh, okay. I was gonna.
But the problem is that they look incomplete separate, or somewhat incomplete separate.
Oh, fair enough. I would love to see them just also be handheld optionally. I think that would be really cool. But also underslung is like the way to go for the most part.
Well, this awkward silence tells us that we're done talking about Wreckage. So my pick is up next. And it's not a very interesting pick. It's just G1 Thunderwing. I honestly haven't been hurting for Decepticons lately. We've gotten some pretty cool ones. So I just figured, who's the biggest name that we haven't gotten in a while, and we haven't gotten a decent Thunderwing since Generations 2010, 2011 ish. So I think he can. He can stand to have another go at it, and this time actually. Well, they're not doing the whole pretender thing so much, even with the new ones. But you can definitely have like a tiny robot going into like a bigger robot mode.
Oh no, like this Thunderwing. I can't say I've read his run in Marvel comics or much media about Thunderwing, but he's because a lot of us younger guys were exposed to him through his like Generations toy. That shell design is obviously more iconic than the Inner Robot, but I know the Inner Robot also gets some action, right? In the comics and stuff. I feel like he's one of those guys where the shell matters as much or the Inner Robot matters as much as the shell. So I'd love to see him actually have the Inner Robot as like a core class or simpler thing, and that he can just be like stuffed into him or be used as make him a target master or something like that. Also, doing him also just gets you a quick Black Shadow or Sky Shadow, whatever name they call them these days.
If Hasbro bothers to make the retool,
they've made weirder retools. I feel like they would just have to do it. I'd hope.
Oh no! Wait, no. I was thinking of Blue Bacchus, but Blue Bacchus is a retool of someone else. My bad.
Yeah, Blue Bacchus is Crossblades. He's a Crossblades retool.
Yes, but I wouldn't say that the Inner Robot is as iconic as the shell of Thunderwing, but I certainly would be interested to see an update where they preserve the Pretender gimmick, especially considering compared to characters like Bludgeon, Thunderwing's Pretender gimmick is more integrated.
Yeah,
as part of the original play pattern.
He's a mega pretender. It's like at the forefront, like the whole fact that you can like have two transforming guys and they combine and stuff like that, but it's still the same guy.
Yeah, like the outer robot turns into a vehicle, and then the inner robot turns into a vehicle, and then those vehicles combine. And I'd like to see them do that.
Mm-hmm. But also, God knows when we'll ever get an Ultra Pretender again. I don't think we're ever going to see an Ultra Pretender in Chug ever, because it's like.
No, I don't think they're going to be doing any rideable vehicles or chariots in Chug.
God, I would love to get like Roadblock, I think. No, Road Grabber and Gun Runner. I'd love to see them, but again, they're pretenders that pretender car. Well, the shells are the cars, right? And then the inner robots turn to like jets, so they're pretending to be cars when they're actually. It's like it's so dumb.
It's Stealth Force before its time.
But also, like, I don't think we're ever touching Gun Runner and Road Grabber like that again. And there's just some pretenders I don't think they'll ever touch because they're so out there. Unfortunately, but it's just an unfortunate truth, really.
Yeah. BioDragon882 in the chat just now says, I feel we've entered a nice era of mixing the shells and inner robots. And that's basically what I want from this. I mean, the 2010 toy sort of did the same, but what I'd like is just like the inner robot turning into that little drone thing like on the G1 toy, and he doesn't necessarily have to go inside the bigger robot. I just want him to like be part of the bigger robot, Yeah, it doesn't have to be a one-to-one faithful recreation of the Pretender gimmick. I just want tiny robot turning into bigger robot, which can both turn into jets. Yeah,
no, but imagine how much budget they could save with an entirely hollow chest. You could just stick a tinier figure into, Kit.
Oh, you can even have them interchangeable. You can call them chest masters or something.
We already got chest masters. That's like the new copyright friendly name for like, or not copyright, but I guess like
marketing friendly.
That's the marketing friendly name for the breast masters. Now they're the chest masters. I think that's what they call them for the Haslive Death Swords, which is still really funny. But just call them like beast masters or something. They're all animals anyways. Just call them beast masters.
You ever think about how Soundwave is technically a breast master?
He should. He basically is. He was the first one to do it.
And Sound Blaster is a double Breastmaster.
Double Breastmaster.
Imagine.
Oh man, but yeah, no, Thunderwing's cool, but like if he comes out, I hope we'd also get a Crossblades and Vroom. Yeah, it's Vroom. Vroom's like the white and red motorcycle guy. Yeah, I'd love
Sure. I'm just gonna trust you on this. So if that's all we have to say about Thunderwing, you're up last when it comes.
Sorry, I just want to quickly say that if we do get a Thunderwing, assuming this hasn't been mentioned already, Black Shadow Redeco, please.
Oh
yeah, I had that in mind when I picked him. You know, it would just be good business sense. Just reuse the mold, retool
that would
the head.
be like the second time in a row that Black Shadow's a leader class, which is like, who would ever have thought Black Shadow?
And the first time he was an Overload retool. Overlord retool.
He sure was.
Yeah.
So, ID Armed, you're up last with the Decepticons, and it's actually someone we've spoken about before on this topic.
All right, yeah, no, Violent Jagger. I'm not gonna lie, seeing him in the Trigger 40th thing made me remember his existence, but also getting big powered not last year, I got him this year. It made me realize, shoot, I have like no one to go up next to Violent Jagger. Like my God Jinrai's got his Overlord, my Star Convoy's got his Super Megatron, but my powered masters don't have a Violent Jagger to go against them. And I know he's kind of a weird design, but I still feel like you could totally make a transformer out of it, like a proper transforming figure out of him, like 100%. I feel like after Magmatron came out and it turned out to be as solid as he was, I think I'm totally all for Commanders being like multiple vehicles that combine into one. I know that's what Skylinks did already, but Skylinks also turned into two vehicles, two animals, big animal, right? This one is probably just going to be 3 weird bug things that turn into one big weird robot insectoid guy. And plus, I feel like, like Generation toys, they like coming with like iconic, MacGuffins and stuff like that. It's weird that Generations does it more than Studio Series. That's just me. I would love to see like a Zodiac, if he came with a Zodiac accessory for like Diatlas to hold or whatever, like either the LGEX or like a hypothetical one. In general, I think I just want him because like I think we're basically wrapping up on our Decepticon main bad guys from G1. He's like one of the last ones we need, and like for good reason. Like look at him. But I think it would be really fun as a commander, or like again maybe a made to order thing. But he's pretty niche, so I doubt that would do well.
I just love,
but it's a wish list, so
I just love like obscure Japanese G1 only characters. So Violent Jagger scratches my itch.
Plus, you could also just do 2-in-1. Throw in like a Dark Nova, who's like the weird like ball with like evil eyes and weird tentacles. He's apparently like the Vok. I haven't read through like the stories from JG1 involving Dark Nova, but just throw him in as like another accessory. So that's like you're killing 2 leaders with 1 stone, basically.
I think Violent Jagger is quite cool. He's got that like late 80s anime biomecha aesthetic going. The name escapes me now, but there's a few mecha anime out there from the late 80s that have that similar sort of aesthetic. With the shapes and such. The sort of rounded shapes.
I think it's a really nice contrast to the Power Master guys. There's 3 of them. And they're all weird flying things. I would not be surprised if.
They're all of like the Diaclone lineage of designs.
Yeah. Plus, again, that's one thing. They do all feel very Diaclone-ish. You got that, but also these guys are bugs. So like just like the Warrior. So I feel like the contrast is even better.
It's like
it all comes full circle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, pretty straightforward one. It's just like, let's hope we get them one day. Doubt it will happen, but fingers crossed. So that's it for me.
Brimstone, do you have anything to add about Violent Jagger?
Cool looking design, I guess, but no particular attachment to the character. So whether he comes out or not, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
All right. We're an hour in, which means we're making pretty good time. We are on round 3, where we get to pick anyone from any other faction. It's basically a free-for-all. Up first is Runestone.
And it's a bit of a twist as well. Diaclone had a couple of triple changes in its toy line. The number 1 jet fighter type, which also turned into a tank. Hasbro imported and released it in the second year of the Transformers toy line as Blitzwing. Contrary to what one might think, Astro Train's mold was not the other. Instead, it was the number 2 helicopter type that also turned into a fighter jet. Unfortunately, to this day, that mold has never been released as a Transformer. I have no idea why. However, the design inspired no less than 3, albeit very minor characters in fiction. Rotobolt, Skyclick, and perhaps the most relevant name for this slide, Fumes. Why the most relevant? Well, in the Dreamwave comics, he background cameoed alongside a certain someone you might not have heard of, Exhaust. And if you know the history of that guy, you can put 2 and 2 together with their names. Although Fumes' TF Wiki page lists him as a Decepticon, I'd actually market him as a mercenary, because Exhaust, while initially a Decepticon, was sold as a mercenary in the Selects line, name prefix aside. So why not have a partner in crime? As for a modern toy of this triple changer, I'm thinking leader class. Whether or not they'd adhere to the Voyager Plus practice they've been doing with certain triple changers, I don't know. I mean, if nothing else, the parts count would have to be pretty high for them to execute these vehicles as cleanly as one would hope. And that's ignoring how the robot mode might turn out. In the end, though, I just think if they pull it off, the toy would be smoking!
Okay, so wait, first question. Did Fumes and Exhaust get their names at the exact same time, or is it just a coincidence that both are like smoke or gas related?
I think they got it at the same time. I think they knew what they were doing.
Sick. So yeah, no, I love Diaclone, so I'd be totally down for this. No questions. And also, like, I can't believe it hasn't already happened. Like, I don't know where he would have fit in, but I just feel like this is a thing that should have been done like in like Titan's Return or something like that, because triple changers and whatnot.
It feels like a bit. I can see why it hasn't been done, but it is certainly an interesting thing. It's something that hasn't. It's a design that hasn't been done since Diaclone. So it would certainly be interesting.
100%. I feel like he would genuinely also be a triple changer that deserves being a leader class, because he's got 2 pretty disparate alt modes. So I'd love to see how the parts of one become the parts of another in a way I can actually see being worth $55. Now, like some figures, Blitzwing. It's Blitzwing. I'm talking about Blitzwing.
Is it just me, or does that helicopter mode look a bit like Spinisters?
Oh yes, it does. I think that, to my eye, it looks like they're both based on the Apache helicopter.
And as for the jet, Char?
It's kind of hard because the swept wings look like swing wings, and they're meant to be swing wings. It could be anything from an F-15 to a Foxbat to a F-14. It's just it's one of those designs where it's too far removed from anything to really be like something you can nail down as a specific aircraft from real life. It's just kind of like generic store brand jet fighter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to go about thinking it. I'd assume.
Yeah. But no, the helicopter, in my opinion, is a spitting image of an Apache.
I can't argue with you there.
I also just really like the idea of, again, just doing more So here's the thing, right? They still do brand new characters for generations, right? But a lot of the time it's just under the pretense of them being guys you pull apart. I think it would just be cool if we started getting guys again who happen to just be guys. You know what I mean? Like, they transform, they have their own features and stuff. I think this would be a great way to like test the waters and see if people would still be down for it, which I'd like to assume a lot of people are still down for.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I don't have a lot to say about this guy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Moving on, it is ID Arms' third pick.
Yeah, so I want more. Ooh. This one's also pretty straightforward. I just want more Beast Wars basics represented in Generations. I know we got
speaking my language.
We got Rat Trap, who was pretty all right for a $10 rat, right? And then I think Pterosaur, but he got bumped up to a deluxe. But like with this, I literally think you just do what you've been doing with the mini bots since Earthrise and just have them be like a smidge shorter than your regular deluxe, but they probably pack a little bit more posability. And in like these guys' case, they all have like sick integrated weapons. I had a tough time choosing between these two when I was whipping up my slides and making my choices, just because I really like both of them. And I think just because I like both of them, I think that just means I want to see both of them in the line. Plus, I'm sure built-in repaints could get you some. Well, I don't know if Insecticon has built-in repaints, but Snapper, you could probably get a Scold retool from the IDW 2018-2019 Beast Wars comics, whenever that was. And then Insecticon, again, I think he just looks cool. Maybe do like one where he's just in like G1 colors or something silly like that. I don't really know what other ones I would want to see. Probably Razor Beast, but I feel like honestly he'd be better as like a beefy Voyager. And otherwise, I feel like you just go from there, just doing like one every year or something like that. But at this time, we're still getting through the cartoon cast. Still no Quick Strike, Death Charge, Rampage, etc. So I think slowly but surely we're going to build up to finishing those first before we move on to any toy-only or Japanese characters.
To be fair, besides Dragon Megatron, which is only really nominally a Transmetal, we haven't gotten any Transmetal dudes yet, haven't we?
I'd say I'd have to double check with Rune, who he's here.
We got
we got Triggerhawk.
Tigerhawk, yes.
Tigerhawk. Yeah.
I don't know if he's supposed to be more of a Transmetal or a Fusor or just some fusion of both.
I forgot about that one because he just never showed up in my area, so I don't have him.
Yeah, those the United leaders kind of aren't showing up at retail around here either. It's really strange. I'm lucky I got Sandstorm in person when I did.
Yeah, these would be really nice. I'd love a turtle transformer.
Yes. One snag I can see running into with these guys, but could be ameliorated with less frequent releases, is the fact that they all kind of have a similar transformation, because all of the Beast Wars basics characters, at least in the first wave, had basically the same Automorph transformation. With something folds over, the head reveals, and the legs pull out. But you could probably add more nuances to the engineering to get around that issue, make them feel less samey.
Well, I feel like usually I'm kind of not against them doing new things with existing transformations, but doing it for the sake of just being new. But I think with these guys, they could totally get a pass just because they all transform pretty much the same. Like you pull something on one end of the front or back of the main body, and then like half of the main body flips down to become a chest, the other half stays on the back, and then the limbs form the limbs. I think it'd be okay if like there's a bit more involved chest transformation. Just again, like you said, so they don't feel so samey.
Yes.
Well, I mean, they did Rat Trap and Pterosaur, who are part of the Flip Changer wave.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That is true. That is true.
What's his name? Pterosaur didn't do the flip thing. It was all faux parts, which I guess isn't terrible per se, but it's not. Rat Trap did commit to it.
I feel also that part of it is that the Rattrap and Pterosaur were based on their show designs, which were more divergent from the toys than these guys would probably be. So, it's maybe it's something with a bit of nuance to it.
Oh yeah.
Of the two, I think Snapper has the slightly better chance of appearing, since, as has been brought up already, you have Scald from IDW's Beast Wars 2021 comics, and then from that you get a Snapper retool.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's like literally just a built-in repaint, like 100%.
I'm sure there's tons of color schemes that you could do with Insecticon. You could even do the Energon color scheme. Though admittedly, this is a little similar with the green. You could make him into probably Chop Shop. He looks a little similar, especially with those.
Literally have fun with the repaints,
Yeah.
100%.
They could just turn him into some new character.
They could do him in classic Insecticon colors as well.
Oh, yeah, but ID Armed already mentioned that.
Oh, no, my bad.
Up next is definitely not Char's pick for round 3.
Right. Beast Machines Universe Thrust. The reason I picked Thrust in particular is because he, in my opinion, is one of the biggest breakout characters of the show. He, he, like most of the show Viacons, the main Viacons, didn't receive an accurate toy in the appropriate size class initially. They did make the motorcycle Viacon drone, which was closer to his show design, but not quite perfect. But it's a good basis for what they could make into a Beast Machines update figure. Really all it needs is more accurate hands, maybe more accurate sculpting, and maybe a couple more joints, and you would be golden by basically updating the original basics figure and upsizing it somewhat.
Oh.
And I also added the original figure because I do like the original figure. I'd like to own it someday.
Yeah, that's the Returns deco, and like half of Returns is like stupid expensive. I don't know where Frost lies in terms of being expensive, but I would love to get my hands on one day. And of course, I agree. He'd be so cool to see like a new toy of, but unfortunately, I think Hasbro is legally obligated to put out only one new mold Beast Machines character every 10 years. So,
unfortunately,
gonna have to wait till 2034 for that next one.
Also, this pick kind of stands for all of the Beast Machines Viacons because none of them really got accurate toys. I'd really like to see an updated Jetstorm.
Oh my god!
Or not even an updated Jetstorm, just a Jetstorm, because there was never really a proper toy of that design. For whatever reason, they never made a version, like a drone version figure that was close to the show.
Obsidian got a pretty killer repaint from Hunt for Decepticons Highbrow for BotCon.
He did, but that was a repaint. One, that was a repaint, and two, that was a convention exclusive. But yes, that was a very cool toy.
Strika got one from Warpath, which, if you ask me, I think the Strika was actually pretty lame compared to the Obsidian. The Obsidian was just like blew her out of the water. If you ask me personally, I don't know why they chose Warpath for that. Personally speaking.
Strike is a little unique, by the way. Can we get up JR Productions comment? Strike is a little unique in my opinion because she had probably one of the most accurate Viacon toys of the whole toy line. The closest to her show design, at the very least. But like I said, all the Viacon generals deserve updates, in my opinion.
Yeah, Thrust is in my opinion, he is by far the most visually interesting of all the Viacons, just because of that mono wheel unileg. I just love that. It makes him look so agile, and his arms being made of the thrusters, just
Well, they wouldn't
Ugh.
be the thrusters; they'd be the mufflers. But yeah.
Whatever. It's Cybertronian. It's not a real motorcycle, Char.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do the flames coming out the back make it go faster?
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone knows that, Char.
I'm sorry. You're right. You're
Why
right.
do you think people paint flames on their cars? It's not for aesthetics. It's just to
Oh,
make
I'm
it
sorry.
go
I didn't realize we
faster.
were using Warhammer 40k orc logic. I didn't realize that was how Cybertron works.
Yeah, I would love to see a new Thrust. Thrust is my favorite Viacon. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Would you believe that we actually came close to getting a new toy of Thrust? Because TF Nation revealed that there was a planned Thrust for like a subscription service run, I think, for 2016, but obviously that got scrapped. And it was to be a retool of Combiner Wars Groove / Afterburner.
Oh, I
yes,
thought that was
do
just
remember
something
that
they made
one.
up for a comic.
Well, I mean, it's part of the Beast Wars Uprising series of stories, and that was going to be the figure they went with.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'll be totally honest. I'm not that upset that that figure didn't get made. It doesn't really do the design justice, in my opinion.
on TF Wiki, there's an image from a comic of that particular design alongside a Tankor from Titans Return Hardhead and Jetstorm from Thrilling 30's Starscream. Armada Starscream.
The Jetstorm one would have been. I would have been pretty cool with the Jetstorm one, but that one obviously never came out, unfortunately.
Yeah. I believe I'm last up for this round, and I went with Armada Perceptor. This is not a toy I have a vintage copy of, but it is on my list, so someday. I just think it would be really cool if we got a proper minicon team, and I'd say one of the more realistic teams to go for would be one with a central unified gimmick, and I'd love to see a new take on Perceptor. We haven't gotten a threefold combiner in a long time. Probably since the last time they did minicons back in 2014. And look how that turned out.
Yeah, I was about to bring that one up, actually.
But I asked for this one to be Voyager class, just so that each member can be a bit more robust. And I think it would do a lot for the combined mode.
What would you... Sorry, go ahead. I'll say my thing up. You're done.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. What would you say about them releasing them maybe as a set of 3 core class figures, kind of like how they did Volcanicus recently?
Yeah, that would be the general idea. They'd probably end up around core class. That would be fine. That'd be great. I wouldn't care that they'd be essentially bigger than the legacy minicons that we've gotten so far. That being Jolt and someone else.
Whisper.
Yeah. I have a whole rant about that prepared sooner or later, but I wouldn't really care if they'd be bigger than those guys. I just want the gimmick. I just want them to combine.
I would be okay with them not being able to be part of the Superlink play pattern for the newer toys if they still were able to combine. I think that's a fair trade-off.
Yeah,
I agree. I think it'd be totally cool just to get like a deluxe size, like not even big deluxe, just a normal size deluxe that has not even like the craziest articulation, but like decent enough posability and stuff, and turns into 3 separate vehicles that all can do their own thing, or well, all 3 little guys. You know, I'm not much so like.
One problem I foresee is how would you get the scooter one to have not a mono leg and still do the combination?
Oh wow!
You just have to make the torso lock in a bit better.
Yeah, I guess you could just have them be separate parts, yeah, and just have the torso locked together itself.
Yeah,
because on the original it's just one part, and they sort of fold like from
Well, the whole toy
central
splits
piece.
in half, so it is technically 2 legs.
Yeah, but they're connected by a piece inside of the monoleg, aren't they?
I don't know. I
Pretty
don't
sure
have the toy.
I'm pretty sure they are. Anyway, just pedantry.
The dean of pedantry.
That's my minor.
I still just wonder, I guess related to the whole minicon thing, right? I don't know. I feel really gross if they were sold as core class. I feel like you can do them as like $6 figures or $6 minicons, and then just bring back minicon free packs for like $15 or something like that. I feel like everyone would be cool with that. I just feel really weird going and buying like a Leader 1 for a Megatron that probably should have just come with the Leader 1 for like $10, you know?
Well, I mean, this is a unique case this would be a unique case in my opinion. This would be they are not like minicon, they're not the minicon Micromaster scale. They are core
Yeah,
class
this isn't an updated minicon per se. It's an updated Armada Perceptor.
All right, when you put it like that, that's good. But it's just like the future of minicons and generations just feels so weird right now. Just because
I agree on
the
that
distinction
point, yeah.
here is slight, but still significant.
Oh yeah, it feels like they don't know how they want to release them, which again is really weird because like
they're the company. They should have a plan.
Be that hard.
Yeah.
Again, it's literally tiny Transformers. It's like it should be pretty straightforward. I think.
Imagine they finally start selling minicons, but they sell them as blind bags.
I would actually be totally cool with that. I'm not even kidding, because like it's not like Takara didn't do that. Because
they used to sell blind bag minicons.
Yeah, I would totally be cool with them doing.
It's just like bigger bots.
Yeah. I seriously have no problem with that myself.
Well, if no one has anything left to add on this, we can move on to the 4th and final round. Runestone, would you be able to introduce this? Because I'm not sure I understood the assignment completely.
Well, I mean, essentially, this is just going off the rails, coming up with the concepts that are a bit out there, but still could prove interesting. The image you see on screen was something that the Hasbro team posted a while back. I think its name was Smokestack. Like it's like an original character they created, and I just think we should perhaps come up with either original or semi-original or brand new takes on characters. We're just having fun with this 4th round, basically, and that's all I can say. So, who's first?
Let's see who is first. It is ID Armed.
All right.
Hey,
so, I'm gonna add some pretext real quick. So, like, I don't care too much about the primes, right? Because some of them are cool. Alpha Triumph's cool. Vector Prime's really cool. The Fallen looks really cool. But, like, for the most part, I don't really care about owning all of them. Maybe until now, because I did enjoy seeing them in Transformers 1, which, I watched yesterday and stuff, right? They're pretty prominent, of course, like the lore of this new universe. And I don't know if he was in the movie, but Amalgamus has always been one of the more interesting ones because, well, in the grand, he's a nobody. We don't really know anything about him. Like, he's never shown up in a show or anything like that. But, like, the idea of just, like, some guy who can, like, just become whatever he wants has always been like, ooh, I want to see how they do a toy. And with the prevalence of weaponizers since 2018, and, weaponizers, modulators, armorizers, junkions. Well, what? Wait, hold on. Weaponizers, modulators, fossilizers, junkions, and now armorizers. But also there's none next year as far as we know. There's no listings for like a new group to take over. I think it would be really cool if in Age of Primes we got a leader class that basically is the armorizer, weaponizer, whatchamacallit, for the whole year. And so I'm imagining like a leader class Amalgamus Prime that's like 30 parts, right? There's 30 parts, maybe some connector pieces, and then you also toss in some like random wheels and wing pieces that are 5mm compatible, some like beast heads, and then like a couple different robot mode heads. And you just make your own leader class. You make your own Amalgamus Prime. You can transform into whatever you want. And of course, they're still they're 5mm compatible, so other guys can use them as weapons, armor, and whatnot. I think I would gladly pay a full leader price if they pulled it off like that. Because I think it would be fun to have like. I know it sounds like Diet Clone, but I like it when Transformers is Diet Clone sometimes because I like Diet Clone a lot, but I don't have Diet Clone money all the time, so I like just regular Transformers every once in a while. So I'd be totally cool with this because it's Diet Clone in my mind.
What I was thinking when I first saw the slide was a repaint of a bunch of different 5mm ISA toys.
Oh no!
All repaint into one scheme and then like sold together as one figure, like fan moded all together.
I don't want that because we have a lot of people in this fandom who are really good at making like fan modes and stuff, but a lot of them seem very tenuous. You know, they don't hold well. I want something that intentionally can hold well and be its own figure, but also like again, just be whatever you want it to be at the same time.
So you want it to have a official mode, but also all the bits. Fair enough.
Transformers meets Mugenbein.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And like I said, include the parts so they can turn into like a jet, a truck, a car, a tank, a couple different beast modes, maybe like a gun, I guess, if you want to take it in like the shape of a gun.
I think you mean a submarine, ID Armed.
Ah, yeah, my bad.
This just sounds like Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, the toy. Not as a pejorative. Just that's what I'm imagining in my head.
I think this would be a really good idea. I'm not sure if it's something that would appeal to me specifically because I'm not a creative person. So I'm not the kind of person who takes apart my Legos and makes mocks or anything like that. So it's not my flavor of autism. But it looks like this idea could really work, and especially if you get more copies of it. I know a $55 asking price is pretty steep for extra modularity, but I could imagine there would be some really, really impressive builds using this idea. I can
see Japanese collectors on Twitter getting like 5 of these and making absolute abominations.
Dude, I already see people doing that with like 20 Warders from Diaclone's reboot and stuff.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Diaclone collectors are insane. Goddamn.
Agreed. If that's all we have to say about Mr. Amalgamus Prime, I'd like to go on my little rant right now. Mine is Universe 2008 Universe Armada Windshear. So we just had that little live stream from Hasbro a few days ago. That was on Friday, wasn't it? Sure. Where they unveiled the new wave of Legacy United, and there was a certain Armada Autobot in the
releases
in the selection that was unveiled, who didn't have his Minicon, even though he's just a straight repaint of someone who did come with a Minicon packed in, and that was Armada fucking Wheeljack. And I have Shattered Glass Sideswipe and his Minicon partner Whisper, and they're great. I fucking love that toy. I love that toy. Oh, yeah. Wheeljack is in a wave that is nothing but repaints and nothing but repacks.
There is literally only one new part. There is only one new part in the whole wave, and that is the add-on Overcharge. That's it.
Yeah. So what is the fucking excuse? What is the fucking excuse that Wheeljack does not come with Windshear? What the fuck were they thinking? So I let this rage consume me. And I was just like, okay, if they're not going to let Windshear come with his buddy, let's just do what they did in 2008, Universe 2008, and where they took Micromasters and just made them as big as possible. You want a new countdown, ID Armed? How about a repaint of fucking Cybertron Defense Red Alert? You want a new Storm Cloud? Oh, he's a Power Glide repaint now. Oh, and Power Glide's massive too this year. So let's just take Windshear and just make him big. Let's make him big. I don't think the Skyquake Dreadwing mold would be a great choice, but it's the only one I could really think of. And it's just to illustrate the idea I'm going for. It could be a brand new mold for all I care. Just make him big.
There was also not last year, but in 2008 there was also the Blue Jetfire. I'm forgetting his name right now. He was one of the
Treadshot, I think.
Treadshot? Okay.
No, Treadbolt.
Okay. There's Treadbolt. This guy was a cyber jet. It was a Skyjack, but he got a Darkwing or a Silverbolt repaint. Just like those guys were great.
I am 100% in favor of Universe 2008ification of little guys again.
That's part of the reason why I didn't care if the Perceptor dudes didn't interact with the other Armada updates. I just
what if we went all in on the Universe 2008ification of Perceptor and made the bicycle guy a motorcycle, the scooter a Harley Davidson. And I know 2 motorcycles, and the skateboard can be an ATV.
That's just Energon Perceptor, dude.
Oh, no, because that's 2 motorcycles and a hovercraft. It's different.
No, because Highwire turns into a motorcycle, Grindor turns into an ATV, and it's just Sure Shock that turns into a hoverboard. Or maybe I got Grinder and Sure Shock switched around, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, nothing new under the sun, Char.
But still, I am 100% in favor of Universe 2008ification. We should have every single Armada minicon as a at least a Voyager class toy reimagined.
Well, I mean, I would be okay with a deluxe class Spark Plug. He's just an Autobot car.
Okay,
deluxe class Swindle, etc., etc. Zeta TF
can be deluxe.
Zeta TF mentions at this point they might as well do a minicon multi-pack with all the missing minicons. There's no way Hasbro would be dumb enough to make these one-time molds.
That's
that is basically what we all expect them to do. But I don't think it's Hasbro being dumb. I think it's the consumer being dumb for letting them get away with it.
I mean, the problem is, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
Just fucking include the minicon in the box.
What are you supposed to do as the consumer?
Not buy it.
I mean, I guess, but the problem.
Well, I mean, we live in an age where the Hasbro design team is more accessible than ever. Just be like, hey, this is a bad idea. We don't like it.
I mean, that is what everyone has been saying.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they're just still not. I feel like
But they know it's going to sell.
Yeah, they
do this because they know it'll sell.
Because here's the thing.
Yeah, it's fair.
The thing is, going off of the, I've messed with Jolt. I think I messed with them at TFCon, and I have the FG Whisper. They're good. They're really good updates, and it's if they're all like that, then yeah, they're gonna sell super well. I think in my mind, right? So it's just it's so dumb. It's really dumb we're having this problem in the first place. If this was Frilling 30 when Starscream came out, when everything was pretty budgeted, then yeah, sure, I get it, but I don't know. It's kind of baffling nowadays that these things just aren't packed in.
It is very frustrating. And once again, there is basically no excuse because the largest investment that goes into making a toy is besides man hours, is the tooling. But they already have the tooling.
Yeah, it was one thing to get mad about Titan class Metroplex or Commander class Optimus not getting their minicons because they didn't exist. But we've already seen the mold for this one. I already have one. What the hell?
Absolutely. The only thing I can think of is they wouldn't want to set they don't want to set the precedent of the mini-cons being included, because then people will be like, okay, well, why isn't this one included?
Yeah.
Right.
But
So
then
next
that's
year-
like, yeah, that's their problem at that point.
Okay, then just budget the rest of the wave around it.
Mm-hmm. So next year we're getting Red Alert, right? So I feel like Red Alert's going to be like the final test to see if they'll actually include guys or not. Because like
They won't.
I know they probably won't, but like when Red Alert comes out next spring, it would have been like almost 3 years since Starscream was revealed. So we'll see if they do. Because I think there were no Armada characters until Wheeljack this year. I mean, there was Tidal Wave, and I really don't know why he didn't come with Ramjet, because he was not a big Titan.
He was not a big... No, you see, he came with a mini Dark Fleet, so
think
that
the
counts.
I
That
actually
counts
think
as
the
the
mini
mini
Dark Fleet was kind of cute, but I still think you could have included Ramjet. I steadfastly hold that opinion that he could have come with Ramjet still.
I am-
the Dark Fleet.
I am eternally disappointed they did not include Ramjet, because one of my favorite gimmicks from the original toy, practically defining for the toy, is the aircraft elevator gimmick.
Yeah, no, what is it? I don't know if I talked about it with you, but I recently got from my Bai box, I got Micron Legend Shockwave, and the whole fact of the matter is, like, Ramjet is like a third of the reason why the whole thing's so fun, because like he does
It's a
something for
playset, yeah.
basically everything. And again, I don't want to go on a whole spiel about like Armada Tidal Wave from Legacy, but like stripping out everything that made him like a mini playset is really lame. Because like if those were all there on a actually like a figure double the size of the original, it wouldn't be a mini playset. It would just be a playset, you know. But it's
Yeah.
not, and I feel like that just takes a lot of the personality from Tidal Wave away. He's just a big guy now, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
I
I
agree with
think,
your idea. I would love to see these kinds of things more. Like seriously,
Yeah.
call it like Legacy Universe or something as like a wacky universe where anything is possible. You know what I mean? Like I'd be so down.
Real
Shall we
shit.
move on to Runestone's pick?
Sure.
All right. So, as much as Beast Wars was a big part of my childhood, if I had any sort of grievance or complaint, and this is kind of spoilers for the alt mode episode, there were still more creatures they could have done. In our initial Chug Wishlist, Kit put Starupper as one of his picks, which would have given us a kangaroo. For me, the most surprising exclusion was a hippopotamus. Not only is there no hippo in Beast Wars, but as of this video, no hippo transformer exists, period. I call it surprising because, for one, despite how cartoons tend to depict them as cute, cuddly, comical, among other endearing traits, the actual animal itself is among the most aggressive on this planet.
Oh,
Mind you, considering characters like Longrack and Stampy, I guess that doesn't really factor into things. Also, I understand hippos and rhinos are of different orders, but given their similar physical build, you'd think it would be an easy retool of Rhinox. I've seen at least one Kit Bash. There are probably more. So for my fourth pick, I've gone with a Beast Wars Universe Strong Arm, a Maximal with a Hippo alternate mode, retooled from Kingdom Rhinox. I get the mold kind of bites, but it's the most modern Chug Rhinox, so this is what I'm going with. And this strong arm would be a triple homage. For starters, the robot mode deco could be based on the Robots in Disguise 2015 Fembot and or the blue redeco of the Energon Omnicon strong arm. The head sculpt could lean towards one or the other, or even be a blend of the two. And as for why I'm associating hippos with the name Strong Arm at all, this is where the third nod comes in, because Takara's tie-in toy line, Beastformers, had an Autobot aligned character named Strong Hippo, who dons blue armor. That's the character on the bottom right-hand corner. It could be cool, or maybe it's just wishful thinking.
I like it.
I
think it's
love
cool
Battle
idea.
Beasts, so like you got my vote.
Also, yeah, one thing that people forget about hippos, or don't really think about hippos, is the way they're built. That isn't fat. That's muscle. They're like Kingpin from Marvel. they are in fact so heavy that they can't actually swim. When they go through the water, they actually have to basically tread water on the bottom of the lake that they're traversing through. You can find videos of it online. So yeah, a hippo would certainly be maybe even a good Predacon, if there have ever been any Predacon mammals. I can't think of one off the top of my head.
I guess technically Ravage.
Well, he was a Decepticon, but yeah, fair enough.
I think honestly, when I look at that photo of a hippo, right, Rune, the thing that gets me is, as a guy who used to own Kingdom Rhinox, I feel like Kingdom Rhinox, call me crazy, I think his alt mode body proportionally matches up with a hippo way more than it does a rhino.
Well, there you go. All the more reason to do it. Get on it, Hasbro.
Because like when I think Rhino and Rhinox, I think like Frilling 30. Like
yeah,
I think
I have that one. It's a cool
like
figure.
what knocked out of the park. You know?
I only have one suggestion to change to this, and instead of Kingdom Rhinox, I think it should be mainline Rise of the Beast Rhinox, because that figure has a really fun transformation.
It could work.
But yeah, no, I would love to see more Battle Beast homages and Transformers. I don't know why. I mean, I know why we don't get them more often, but by Battle Beast, I also mean Beast Formers. So, like, you know, both sides of the same coin. I don't know why we don't get them, but I'd love to see like just random characters that are animalistic painted up in different Battle Beasts colors. I've done one custom for sure. I might have done a second one, but I know one I did for sure, and it was like that was really fun to do Devil Bat from Bombers. So like I'd love to see more of these done, or I should probably convince myself to do more of these.
Just responding to Biodragon, the Beast War Second Cyborg Wolf is called Max B.
Well, yeah, he said that.
Oh, he beat me to it then. Okay. You know what? Actually, have since you said it, ID, you know, like Legacy has had these like pull apartizers as like the running thing throughout the toy line. How about instead for the next one, ditch that and instead just have like a series of characters inspired by the Beast Formers?
Oh, I wish. I would love it. Just like cybernetic or whatnot.
Can they still have like a rock paper scissors gimmick?
They could.
With the rub signs.
Yeah, but maybe have like the gamification from bot shots, where it's like a little wheel in their torso where you can pick which one you want, which attack.
Yeah,
Hasbro's
but would you have
version
like
of
a
the
reveal
toy line-
mechanism?
Sorry, I was just saying Hasbro's version of the toy line is called Battle Beasts.
Love me some Battle Beasts.
Yeah, there's one I think based on an Anteater, which would make kind of a good rival to Inferno.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I think I'm done with this one.
All right. That just leaves Char.
All right. This was somewhat inspired by the brief that I was given for this slide, which was in the spirit of one of ID's customs. And so I thought to myself, well, what is something I would want to make from one of the currently available toys on the market? And I thought back to one of the first things that I saw when I saw the reveal for Legacy Quake. And that looks like a pile of trash piled up on top of itself. And then another thought came to me. Wait, there's a setting that I really like where one of the major factions, all of the vehicles, are piles of trash piled on top of themselves and piled particularly high in a manner that one would potentially describe as similar to
Legacy Quake.
That being the Corvids from the game Brigador, a game that I highly recommend, by the way. You should definitely check it out. I wouldn't even change the figure that much. I would keep basically all of the same tooling. I would have the only change I would make would be to paint it in the Corvid's color scheme, which is very easy. Just make the turret blue and make the rest of it gray. And then you could have and then potentially retool the head to be like one of the helmets that the Corvid pilots wear.
Mhm.
And I don't think it's ever something that's going to happen. I don't think Hasbro's going to cooperate with the edgy indie game to make a crossover figure.
Oh.
But this isn't what this is made for. This is the out of left field ideas.
And I like it. I like the idea that you took something you absolutely hate, because it sounds like you absolutely hate everything Legacy Quake stands for, which honestly I can't even blame you for.
Mm-hmm.
You want to turn it into something you love, which I think that's kind of the beauty of Transformer Customs. Like half the time, you turn something you don't like into something you will like.
Absolutely, this is
understood the assignment.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I consider to be making lemonade out of lemons.
Yeah. And I guess quick tangent about Legacy Quake. I am so like 50-50 on if I want him, because like there's parts of him I do like, but then I see like the tank mode and the off colors and the weird molding choices for like what colors are on what sprues, and it's like, is it even worth it? Maybe I've given you inspiration if you ever want to check out Brigador and get some inspiration. Dude, I'm already doing like 3 or 4 customs from this mold, so they're getting my money anyways. Honestly, though, like it might be a thing where I just buy the figure, see how I feel about it, and then if I don't like them but want to use, if I don't like it as Quake, I will just give his target masters to Titan's Return, and then just paint this up in this like something else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I really like the idea of like doing a collab thing based on like something. I'm not going to call this game obscure. I don't know how big it is.
Well, it is pretty obscure.
Okay.
It's an indie game. It had a little bit of a rough history, but like it's I would call it obscure.
Okay. But yeah, so just like I like
niche, I think would be the right word. Actually, niche.
Instead of like some '80s property everyone's made like a billion customs or digibashes or concepts for and stuff.
Yeah. Maybe not Brigador, though. It's not, the content of the game is not exactly in line with Hasbro's brand image.
Brigador video game.
Yeah, check it out on Steam.
Isometric real-time tactical game from Stellar Jockey's released on. This is old. I was assuming this was like a newer game.
It's like what, mid 2000s?
Yeah. So, which means, AKA, like almost 10 years old.
Oh God, don't remind me. 2015 is new, right?
Yeah, dude, we're about to get combiners again.
Holy shit!
Did you see the leaked listings for the aerial bots?
Oh man, they're finally doing Voyager torsos.
Leaked listings for the aerial bots, Insecticons.
Dude, we might even get a Bruticus next year.
Whoa!
Welcome back, Combiner Wars.
Dude,
So
I really hope they do a good blast off.
So I think that's it for our Chug wish lists. But there is another segment that Runestone thought up. Would you like to introduce that?
Yes, because instead of a Q&A, it has now been a whole year since we started doing these podcasts. So we asked, we put the question in Kit's server as to name some of their like favorite episodes and or moments. The first one is from DM Prime. My favorite episode is the gimmick episode. The takes are mostly good. Plus, as a Unicron Trilogy fan, I stan Kit enjoying Powerling sing. My favorite moment is Rune learning of the owlbear for the crossovers episode. Well, technically, I learned about it for my Ice Bear review, but yeah, I did reference it in the crossovers episode. Anything to say about this?
If my mind serves me right, the gimmick episode was a fun one.
I mean, that was our last episode.
That was our last. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that was the one before we took a break.
Oh yeah, there it is. Right. I don't know, man. It's fun to talk about broad topics like that and just like
Yeah.
have a long form.
It was probably like our least popular episode in a long time, but it was one of the most fun.
It happened.
I enjoy power linksing even more than I did 2 months ago because I got Inferno V.
Awesome.
Power Links Maxes rise up.
Yeah.
I'm a student of the School of Power Linksing right now.
Going back to get your degree.
Yeah.
Hey, Kit is the headmaster for a reason. We all learn from him still.
Who's next? Needle Nose Enthusiast. He said, I'm torn between saying the first Wishlist episode. It's always curious to see what characters people want to see an update to. Well, congratulations, you got a second one. Or the overrated, underrated episode. That one alone is one I revisit often because I like seeing the bashing, the praise, and the definition of insanity. We'll definitely be returning to that topic eventually. Probably not for the next episode, but probably once again this year. Within the next 12 months, I should say.
That was a really fun episode. I enjoyed hamming it up a little bit. Not to say that my hatred for the toy was at all overstated, merely that I was fully able to express it.
Yes, quite.
It's fun being angry from time to time.
Yeah, that Studio Series crankcase rant is probably the rantiest I've ever been in a video.
Rune's Rants number 5.
Oh boy. So yeah. Are we ready for the it's the last one, I think.
Yes.
Yep.
Char, it's your turn to read.
One?
The crossovers episode was great. I loved hearing your ideas. I somehow missed it initially, despite loving Highway 35 as a kid. Overhated, underrated was very good. It was a very good framing device, but I've always been biased towards the Chug toy quality discourse.
It seems people really love these wish lists and rating videos.
I mean, yeah, it's the general thing where people talk about it like all the time. So I think people also like to hear other people talk about it all the time. Is probably the train of thought.
I haven't listened to Triple Takeover in quite a few months, but the first one I listened to when I was getting back into that podcast was their Hidden Gems.
Oh
so
yeah,
I see where the appeal comes from.
It's cool when it's just cool to hear other people say what they want. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But it's just cool to hear what
you get to pick people's brains and explore their tastes.
Mm-hmm.
I also enjoyed doing the crossovers episode, even if it was probably one of the most dragging episodes that we did. Wasn't that like our longest?
Oh, let me check.
Probably partially due to me rambling about Dune for however long. Sorry. But it was really fun to sort of brainstorm the different ideas for the crossover.
No, our longest episode is still the Collecting Journeys one, but it's up there. It's top 3.
All right.
Can I just say that? Sorry, I was just going to say that it might be our least viewed episode, but I got to say, and I posted this when listing these episodes in Kit's like self-promo forums page. The gimmick episode, I think, has one of the funniest moments in it personally. So basically, I'm just like, we're discussing. Well, I'm discussing transformation as a gimmick because it was a good starting point, and I basically go on this heartwarming, passionate speech about transformation itself, how much work the designers put into these toys, and then along the way, I take a jab at those stupid buzzwords that certain people on Kit's server like to use, and Kit just completely lost it.
Certain people includes me.
But yeah, it was just a lot of fun.
Cole.
Chug slop.
It was a certified gem moment.
Now we can add fucking Chugalicious to the list.
Poor Rune keeping up with the fucking Zuma lingo.
I feel so fucking old.
It's okay.
Rune is,
It's okay. It's okay. At least none of us watch Skibbity Toilet.
I've not heard of that. I don't need to.
Sure. Do you have something to admit?
I watched like the first few like 60 episodes.
What?
What?
I don't know why. It was like they're all like 1 minute bite-sized episodes, and the fucking like I don't know, the robot guys fighting toilet monsters is kind of funny. All right, I will not.
Okay.
Rune is
okay.
like the granddad from The Simpsons, being like, "I was young once, and it'll happen to you too."
Zeta TF says, "Not very Ohio of you, Char."
Excuse me, I'm very skibbity Riz. I'll have you know, I'm in fact the Rizzler.
Sticking out your gyat for the Rizzler. We should probably wrap things up. We're almost at the 2-hour mark, and brain rot has reached a terminal level.
Mm-hmm.
So we might have to put ourselves down before the end of the day. Once again, this has been a very, very fun, very, very fun talk with y'all.
It's honestly good to be back talking about toy robots.
We were afraid you weren't going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was going to make it for this one, no matter what.
Chug life comes before everything else.
Mm-hmm. I need to get like some brass knuckles when I put, when you got like compare the brass knuckle with like engraved text on it. I need ones that like one says Chug, one says life. Put them together, Chug life.
Better yet, you should get your knuckles tattooed.
I'm not going that far for Chug.
Clearly, he's not living the Chug life.
Can you imagine like going for like a checkup and your doctor just has Chug life tattooed on his knuckles?
No. He has like grills. He has grills, and each one of
I'm
them
not
says Chug life.
Oh, it's so silly.
So before we end up dying of terminal illness, let's wrap things up here. This has been Kit Catastrophe, Dean of the School of Athenia.
This has been IDR, Dean of the Arts.
This has been Dean Notchar, Dean of Engineering and Fabrication.
And this has been Runestone, the Dean of banging his head on a fucking wall every time he hears those stupid-ass buzz phrases.
We welcome you to another year of the Chugcratic seminar. Go buy your textbooks from the bookstore, and until next time, class dismissed.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.